But yeah, welcome everybody. We're into game number 1 from Team Nos versus Team Flightlessbird from the AusDraft 2.0 tournament. Coming here, we're still in the first round. We've got a couple matches to go over this weekend. And starting here for Team Flightlessbird, we've got Arthwolf as the Portuguese of the flank, facing off against Nos. So we've got the captain, Captain Nos, versus the first pick for Flightlessbird. Having a matchup Mayans versus Portuguese, two classic flank civs. And then their pockets are Chaos with the Franks and Sneaky Salmon with the Slavs, respectively. Both decent civs. You definitely give the early advantage to Franks, just because, you know, Franks are Franks. But Slavs, they've got a really sick team bonus, and when the game starts to progress through feudal age and you start getting that farming eco online, they start to become pretty decent. I must say, right off the bat, I hate this lumber camp from Nos. Why is your lumber camp so far forward when, you know, this is where you're going to be fighting most of this game? Why is the lumber camp not, like, back here where it's safe? Or, like, back here where it's safe? It's not a huge fan. On the other side of the map, though, we've got Spot the Samurai playing as the Vietnamese, with Flightlessbird, his captain, playing as the Saracen Pocket. Really interesting civ choice there for Mr. Flightlessbird. And their opposition, Some Humble Pie, playing as the Ethiopians, a very sick Arabia civ, with Trace as the Turks. Oof. That might be the most aggressive stuck lumber camp ever. Yeah, like, it's extra bad because, like, this villager is trapped here. And, like, honestly, if Arf scouts this, just, like, two archers can just walk in here and kill that villager and deny this lumber camp without really being attacked. Like, I don't understand this lumber camp in the slightest. Like, this makes so much more sense for Spot, right? It's at the back of his base towards his pocket, where they can work together to defend it if necessary. Here, it's off to the side for Some Humble Pie. Another great lumber camp here for Arf. Like, that's exactly where it's supposed to be. And then Noz is just Giga Chad. Also, he's only got one tile of access to the lumber camp, right? This one tile here. So half of these villagers are not going to be able to drop off wood. So I think that Noz is going to struggle to build an archery range. Like, this is just going to be a huge fucking clusterfuck. Okay, nope, he's forced to do a second lumber camp because of how shit this is going to be. And this is obviously going to slow him down because, you know, 100 wood, that's half of one of his archery ranges, and they're not working for, you know, 30 seconds as he builds it. He's not even building his barracks yet, and Arthur's almost finished his already. I've lost a tournament game on a one-tile axis lumber camp. I hit fuel and no wood. Yeah, exactly. It's so horrible. I did it once on this map, but I was playing as Pocket, so it was like, it was bearable. I wasn't that starved for wood. Oh, and Noz isn't even building the barracks. He's about to hit feudal age, and his barracks is at 0%. Oh, Noz. Captain Noz is having a massive Titanic right here. Okay, he's lamed 4 sheep. I will give him props for that. That is pretty good. But Arf could just defeat him with like 2 archers at this point. Can you wall across the gap? No, this ring of stone around the edges of the entire map is completely unwallable. So it's always possible to get in. It just might be a bit of a wander to get around. Over on the other side, we see Spot the Samurai is up incredibly late. I guess he's had some... Yeah, he's idled for almost a whole villager for some reason. But, you know, Rangers and Blacksmith across this space here will somewhat defend his gold. And then, you know, as we said, he has the nice, safe wood line right at the back there. But Ethiopians should be in a position to just sort of roll forwards and kill him here, because Humble Pie is going to have 4 archers at the same time that Spot has a single one at this point. You auto ward along the stone and then you make a tower defense line. Yeah, unironically, you almost do that. Oh, what are you doing? No, forwards. Forwards, be aggressive. Like, you finish your blacksmith before he's finished his second range. Okay, he's also built his own blacksmith though. Okay, that is somewhat understandable. But I honestly think that if Kados and Arf here were just hyper aggressive, right? Like the first 2 scouts, first 4 archers, just instantly leg it forwards. You could have just won the game on the spot almost. The other issue with building the walls like this is that it takes that little bit extra walking distance for Kados to get his scouts to the front line, right? Like ideally you'd have a gate or something where this house is, so the scouts can just leg it straight down instead of having to do this big L shape to get around. But on the other side, like we just see the archer advantage here for Grey means that they should just roll forwards. The problem is that Tracer's only got 4 scouts, and Flightless Bird has got 7 already, with more in the queue. Oh, he's gone for double stable with a market. Okay, this is some Saracen cheese right here. Spots on the other side, Robo? Say what? This is... I don't know how this is going to work out. I guess the flight's just going to be constantly buying food and just flooding scouts to get a huge advantage early. And I guess this does make quite a bit of sense when he's playing with the weak flank. Oh, kill him on the spot. Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, your puns are too high level for me. So Flight's just going for crazy Saracen plays to make up for the fact that his flank is, on the weaker side, unfortunately. Over here, Flight is just... he's not that far behind in the archer numbers, but he also has the better pocket sieve, right? Like, in theory, Kados should always be ahead because his scouts have that extra HP, right? He should always be able to take really good fights, but saying that, Mr. Sneaky Salmon's already done the first armor upgrade. So actually, they're essentially almost the same, but his scouts are so much better against the archers because they take that less damage from the pierce armor. Man's up to 14 scouts and bloodlines. Yeah. I mean, getting bloodlines is super easy when you're doing 2 stables and you're hard mining gold, right? Like, it's very easy to get bloodlines. Getting armor and attack is much harder because you need to afford the wood first. Whereas bloodlines, you just use the stables that you've already built. I would like to see more aggression, honestly. Like, he's got this huge investment in mass scouts. I would like to see them just diving in there, trying to make something happen. Right, like, honestly, he could almost clean this by himself if he had the armor upgrade. He doesn't even need his flank, really. Oh, boy. Oh, we called it. Yep. The archer's just sitting on the other side of the wood line and can kill the villager. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. That's a good spot from Arf. I like that. I would like to see Spot make fills. He has had quite a bit of idle time. That is definitely true. And we see the big engage coming in here with Flight. Oh, careful, because if you open this gate... Yeah, no. Humble Pie has been smart about this. He was like, okay, we're going to lose this fight. I can't afford letting the scouts into my eco and then losing my woodline and my berries. He's doing a decent job trying to trade off... I would prefer it if he was killing the archers, to be honest, instead of the scouts. Because if there's no archers, you can just make a couple of spears and somewhat defend against the scouts, right? But if there's a decent number of archers, you can never really easily fight them away. Looking at resources, no one is anywhere near going Castle Age, which completely makes sense with this sort of a map. See a bit of a poking and a prodding on the sides. Oh. Unfortunate for Arf, he's got some archers popping out on the wrong side of his archery ranges. Getting picked off for free there. Definitely not ideal, not what you want to be seeing at this early critical stage of the game. And Noz is, I was lambasting the start of his build. Oh, another archer going down. But he's pulled this back. He's in a really good position on this side. The problem is that Flight is... Oh, no. That's... Flight is almost in a position to GG Humble Pie. Oh, and Humble Pie's already built a tower in his golds. Oh, I was going to say a tower behind his mill was like a necessity to stay alive there. But, oh, all these vills. Nope. Nope. It's over. It's over. It's over. Oh, I'm sad. It's too soon. It's not even 20 minutes into the game. This is just donut for you, right? Oh, boy. Arf is trying to get to Castle Edge. I guess... as Portuguese, he's finished his berries already. Oh, I didn't even notice that Noz was already on the way up as well. Sheesh. Noz with the double lumber camp has been, macroing like a madman. He did build a market, so he's probably bought some food to get on the way up. But Gray is just dead. He's got 25 fills. Everybody else is, low 30s to his direct opponent to, low 40s. Market and macro does not go together. I mean, using the market is macro. I mean, that's just how the game works. Oh, this is going to be nasty. Like, because I would assume that Arthwolf is thinking, I've got a pretty decent castle age time. I've done, a little bit of damage. I killed that villager. It's not nothing. Um, he's got a good eco sieve with the Portuguese. Oh, no, I don't like this, though. I guess he's worried about the push going through here, and I was thinking that nods from this stage should be diving towards this wood line, but I guess they don't know it's there, do they? Let's click on one of them. Let's check their Fogaboo. Yeah, they don't know that the wood line's there. I guess they assume that it's down there somewhere, probably. But this is just forced Arth to, like, run all those villages, which is going to kill his wood income just as he hits Castle Age. Market is eco micro? I mean, yeah, kind of. Oh, and we see here, like, they've finally cleaned up the mass scouts from Flight. Trace has had to commit to double stable himself, but at the same time, Flight's, halfway up to Castle Age right here. Trace is not too far away from Clicking Castle, but not as close as Flight is. And remember, Grey is just completely dead. I mean, he's got a decent number of archers, but if Red's able to keep his archer mass alive, I think he should be pretty useless. I'm sorry, no, the other team has Saracens, not you. You can't just sit here and shoot the TC. Okay, tower. Definitely a requirement, I think, to stay alive here. Crossbow numbers are similar. Scout numbers are slightly in favor of Noz's team, though. So yeah, good call on the tower. Defending the golds. Okay, Flight has got the first armor upgrade now. It's just about to hit Castle Age. Ooh. What are you doing? Free archer kills. Why are you just walking away? Oh, I don't like that too much. I don't think you can wall this out if they decided to dive for your woodline, man. Okay, trying to roam around the top side is Mr. Noz. Trace is on the way up to Castle Age. I mean, I feel like a bit of an idiot, to be honest. I was calling the game over, but Noz's team is not that far behind in the Vills, and they've got a huge army lead at the moment. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Oh, Red. Red macro being garbage. The thing is, like, because this is a draft tournament, you have, the top players in each team, Noz and Flightless, who are like 2k2 plus players, and then the weakest player, like Spot here, who is like a 1400. So not all players are equal in this game. Oh, and potentially denying this TC from Flight. Trace is getting the hit back in. Gray's still not, healthy. Red's in a much better position, but Teal has got some decent damage in right here, and Noz seems to be dominating pretty hard. And you see here, like, just the mass making his scouts on the way up to Castle Age, and then getting Lycav is just such a quick, efficient army, right? You don't need to wait for night production to happen. You've already got, 10 to 15 units that you can upgrade for relatively cheap, and all of a sudden you're ready to roll. Oh, scouts are continuing to roam around trying to find some kills. And once again, they're light calves. Doing a pretty good job here of harassing as many players as possible with his leftover Gulag army. I'm not sure if he should be diving with these at this point. I feel like he should be keeping his army alive to try to, defend his flank, who is in a really rough position. Flight has reached 2k3. Yeah, I know, Soxy. I like Flight is 2k3-ish. You and Razor are both close to 2k4. It's just, as an example, that the best players in each team are well over 2k, and then most of the rest of the players in each game are going to be ranging down, down to 12, 13, 1400, depending on the specific players. Okay, yeah, I like this. He did come back with the Lycav. I don't think he did any dives. He's just trying to buy time, essentially, for Grey here. I like the stone walls. I like the stone gates. Hopefully you don't open the gate with these knights. Okay, no, he did open because Flight went back. Whew, that's a little bit lucky. With the tower and the gold and the stone wall there, I think that Humble Pie is in a decent position to defend himself, considering how much damage he took earlier. My peak rating is almost 200 points under 2k4. I mean, you're 2k4 in my heart, Soxy. If Noz isn't careful, he might chop through, like, one of, like, this tree specifically, and then be able to walk and sneak army in that way. But to be honest, that might be a good thing. So it's not a thing to be careful of, it's a thing to deliberately try to do to get a sneaky gradient. Oh, that is unfortunate, Kados. Just throwing away a couple of knights there, just walking into the crossbows. With ballistics, by the way, so they just kill. On the other side, we're waiting for Humble Pie to get up to Castle Age. He's got 23 archers. Okay, yeah, the back here. Ooh, okay, there's a little bit of a raid going around the back from Mr. Flightlessbird. We do have 3 TCs coming up for Trace. 3 TCs for Sneaky Salmon, 3 TCs for Flight, and only 2 TCs for Kados. Kados is going pretty heavy on the knight production right here, trying to keep Arf in a good position in this game. And I think they should clean this army up, it looks like. Oh, it's close, but yeah, they will win this. In the end, ever so slightly. But Noz's eco is in a pretty good spot, right? He's got 61 bills, he's a 10 bill lead against Orange. But Orange does have like a very big mass of crossbows at this point. Compared to Noz. He's got a little bit of a numbers advantage right there. Oh. This is not what you want to see when you're running your villages as far into the woodline as you can go. Oh no. And he just deleted some of them. Why did he do that? Oh no, and these have Saracen crossbows as well. Oh no. Oh, Humble Pie is going to take the sausage again. Rainbow and Grey? It's not a rainbow, it's only 2 players. The rainbow is when you have all the players there. But he's going to drop down to less than 20 vills as he hits Castle Age. He's, 10 archers behind. They're not even crossbows yet. They're a little bit stuck here at the moment. Flight needs to get out of the way, I think. Oh, look at this. He was trying to dodge back and forth a little bit there. I'm not sure if that's the smartest thing. What are these houses? Is there a hole up here somewhere? No, I don't think so. But Flight has managed to run all the way around with his little raiding force that he had. But oh boy, yeah. Humble Pie is just dead. Can he avoid Expo and Bodkin? Apparently yes he can. This game's been swinging back and forth like crazy. I still hate the fact that this wood line is here for Noz. Like, I was talking about the idea of like cutting through, but it's so easy for Orange to just poke in here and kill some vills for free. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's just like 2 dead vills for nothing. Oh, there's some potentially 3 knights there. Okay, Red's army is now trapped in here. Like 1 or 2 knights just patrolling back and forth, trying to, bait the arrows, and then Grey should be able to clean that up. The issue is... Oh, Red's almost going imp. He's got the food, he's got the gold, he doesn't have either of the buildings, is the issue, though. He also has no wood, so he can't afford to build the buildings. A little bit unfortunate, but the fast imp on this side is going to be potentially dangerous. The problem is he's going to lose, a significant portion of his army just before he, is able to click up. That lumber camp is the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, for sure. I mean, Arf's got like 5 or 6 vills over the course of the game, just walking up to this, killing vills, and then running back. Noz is up. True he is. So it's basically going to be a question of, oh, he's building a TC instead of building an imp building. I do not like this. What are you doing? For the cost of a TC, you could build your uni and, half of the monastery. You got 1,000 foos. Why are you not going imp? Spot, what are you doing? You need to kill quickly. Oh, big fight coming here on this side. Huge numbers, like massive numbers advantage for Orange. Noz just needs to keep backing up and trying to just buy time until he hits imp. It's possible that they've figured out that he's up to imp. They've got some inkling that he's doing some age up things, so they're trying to push the issue, get a couple of ill kills, kill off as much of his army as possible before he gets the upgrades. What elo is Noz now? Noz has hit 2k2. He is over 2k2 for the 1v1s. The thing about this specific map is like there's no extra golds, there's no extra stones, so completely defeating one of the flanks as quickly as possible is incredibly valuable so that you can steal their gold, their stones, and like even their relic if possible. I thought he was like 1600 at one point. Noz was 1600 like 2 years ago maybe. At the end of last year, he was hitting 2k, 2k1-ish, you know, on the verge of 2k1, and then in the past couple of months, he's been making the big jump up to 2k2 plus. Okay, Noz, he's in him, he's getting Bracer, he's almost able to afford chemistry if he wants to do it. I don't know if this is a good idea from Purple, just completely diving here. I mean, Green should just chase that down, right? Green's got massive numbers advantage right there, so like these knights shouldn't be able to do too much. I like this though, getting the houses in, stop the knights from getting into the eco, and oh, now where's he gonna go, right? The arbs walk up this way, you get a couple of volleys, you're not gonna kill all of them, but you're gonna kill a decent number. His FCU only can't hit 2k, didn't it? I think so. I'll be honest, I don't, you know, keep up to date with the Smurfs. Ooh, we see Flight swinging around to this side with knights and camels, trying to get something going. He's got 4 TCs at home, taking a little bit of a raid, nothing too big. He's got 2 castles, so it looks like the Camel Mameluke switch is on. Plus Red's slow fast imp, and Grey has nothing to defend this, but Trace is on the way up to imp. But what is Turks going to be able to do against Saracen heavy camels and Mamelukes, right? Oh, here goes the raid again. And like even just having a couple of camels mixed in with these knights makes it so much harder to clean up with purely knights, right? Because the camels deal so much extra damage against the knights, leaving hopefully Flight's own knights to kill bills like this. And this is a sick raid here. And this is really preventing Green from ever really getting up to imp. Like you're idling a third to a quarter of his farms, you're killing a ton of ills right here. Eco KD for Flight, look at this, 30 to 6. Absolutely crazy numbers. We're seeing a big fight, though, from Noz, trying to get around the top side. Decent crossbow numbers, but Purple's army is not in a position to force this, and both of them are close enough to imp that they don't want to fight, but Noz is, you know, doing his best to try to force some sort of an engagement. Oh, and they're back on the woodline again. I'd really love it if there's just one crossbow just constantly sitting here. That's what I would like to see. Trace is about to hit imp. We see Lightcab Tech coming in for Flight. I guess he's preparing for Hussars. The other thing, like as I was saying, there's not a lot of extra golds and extra stones, so early trade might be a requirement if you want to. Oh man, Flight just killed so much of Green. Green was at like 110 bills, he's down to 80 now. He's got his way up, almost able to click up to imp. I guess he just cancelled a ton of knights from his queue. Yeah, and like just, oh no. Trace's forward castle is denied by the ARB timing. See Elite Mameluke coming in, we've got Trebs coming forwards. No Zealotry just yet. Zealotry is quite an expensive tech. It's a little bit cheaper now than it used to be, but it's still not exactly, you know, something you can just afford off no eco. So he's prioritizing numbers, prioritizing Trebs. Oh no, there's Zealotry coming in. Now, I think the damage to Humble Pie has come to bite Noz's team at this point. Like, Noz was in a really good position, but because Grey was so incredibly dead, Flight could sort of just do whatever he wanted throughout Castle Age. And so, like, the swing and the sneak into Green's eco here has just absolutely killed the easy push that Noz was trying to get into, right? So now he's stuck waiting for Trebs so they can slowly Treb down this castle. Yeah, just like, keep backing up. You've got 2 castles here that you can hide behind. You don't have fletching or anything though. Getting fletching and Bodkin Arrow at some point might come in handy. Just to help defend a little bit more. We usually Hussars and Cavalier. I don't like the fact that you go off Turk Cavalier against Saracens. I think it has to be going Turk heavy camels if you want any chance at fighting. But then you're fighting all these arbs, and you don't have any like arb mass of your own to help defend your camels. That's rough. That's true. We do see the Paladin coming in for Chaos. I think like as soon as he gets Paladin, or like, you know, just before he gets Paladin, they should be trying to force a fight. Because Green's, you know, just about to hit Imp. They've got a huge upgrade advantage right here. Let's get rid of these. Slight HP lead for Noz's team, but they got massive upgrade lead in terms of the Cav right here. They're taking the fight just before +4 armor, just before Cavalier comes in. Well, they're saying that most of the purple habits died. Oh, there's some more coming in from the back. Maybe I take that back. Maybe they shouldn't have taken it. They should have waited. Revisionist history here, but, you know, just stop. Oh, I do not like doing Chivalry. I think Chivalry is a massive waste. There's not enough gold on this map to waste 600 gold doing Chivalry. I think getting, you know, 8 more Paladin is probably more useful. Probably saw the Mamluks too late. I mean, I don't think the Mamluks even matter, right? Because what are Saracens going to do? They can't do Cavalier themselves, right? So they have to do heavy camels at a minimum. And their heavy camels are really good with plus 30 HP, right? So, like, obviously their camels are going to beat your camels, but their camels are just going to destroy your Cavalier. Time to add Helb. Yes. On this side, Flight adding out Helb or Sneaky Salmon, either of them adding Helb would be a brilliant idea, especially considering, as I've been harping on for a while now, there's not a lot of gold. Sorry, yeah, so adding in trash units makes a ton of sense. The big issue is on this side, right? Trace the Turks can't add Helbs of his own, and then his flank is dead, right? He's 40 vills still, he's not making any vills, he's nowhere near ever going Imp, so he's never going to add Helbs either. So this is just a very, very quick death over on this side. Humble's Castle, yeah, Humble is essentially not playing this game anymore. Like, by the time he is useful again, it's, you know, at least 20 minutes. Unless someone can, like, full sling him. Which I assume nobody is able to full sling. And, like, the biggest issue is that Noz is just not pushing fast enough, unfortunately. I don't know what he can do to push faster, but he needs to do something. Because Trace can't hold on for that long, right? We've got 2 more Trebs on the way, so soon there's going to be 5 Trebs. Potentially Flight can yoink these relics back to his base as well, get some extra gold income. And then... I mean, okay, this is nice though. Getting this gold, I don't like the fact... Oh, here's Mines. Okay, I guess it makes sense for Mines to take the gold, because it's longer lasting. Maybe you can get the sling stacks, or just start investing in his own trade line. We've got some markets down here, we've got some trade being created. For the other team, though, for Mr. Flight's team, the market's not exactly in the best positions. That one's pretty decent. But they've got more trade out on the field already, right? They're approaching 30 trade carts. For Noz's team, they've got 6. Definitely not ideal. But potential... Ooh, Victoria's. Makes a lot of sense. I don't like the positioning, though. It's probably going to get tripped down within the next 10 minutes. I believe in the Humble. He'll come back to win this game. You're a brave man saying that. What's his eco like? He's got 100 stone. He's almost got the wood for a second TC. He will start the slow reboom soon. Okay, we've got Helbs coming in from the Samurai. I mean, he is the Samurai from the Vietnamese player. I do like this. Like, you sort of stick with an army of 50 to 60 arbs, and then you spend the rest of your resources on trash, and then spend your gold making trade. Flight's raids, they're still poking around through the middle hall. That is a ton of idle villages. Holy balls. That's an interesting castle from Sneaky Salmon. I like the castle push that Noz is doing. And honestly, they probably want to try to get a market up here at some point. Just for, you know, slightly longer trade room. Get that extra gold income coming. But, yeah, these 4 Trebs, they're going to make a pretty short work of this castle. Then the Fatori is going to go down, which is a big waste of stone, and which is, you know, a resource that's hard to come by on this map. Paladin making their arms not so valuable. Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, you try to keep a ball of them alive, surrounded by helbs, and then you just spam helbs and set up trade so you can get better, your better units, right? Like you start to get switch into Ratons or even elephants or something like that. Yo, Lidical, how's it going? How is it going? A castle over here. I wouldn't hate it if flight swung a little bit to the side, because they're having a couple of issues. Ooh, the Paladin are also missing the last attack upgrade. I just really dislike the fact that it did Chivalry. I think it was just completely useless. I guess it makes a lot of sense if you're spamming Lycav, but I would have preferred that gold be spent on upgrades and more heavy cav. Trace holding like a madman. Yeah, Trace is doing an insane job. I don't know how he hasn't just died yet. I honestly think that Sneaky Salmon needs to come build barracks on the side and start adding helbs to support him. Because these Cavalier, you know, they're not that great when you're comparing them against these Paladin. Oh, and here comes some Mamelukes and some Hussars. We're potentially going to see a game-ending fight if these Hussar can path around correctly. They didn't do particularly well, but the huge wave of Paladin now are just going to roll in, and I think that Noz might keep his arbs alive and just try to get some more helbs in there to back up, and like he can keep retreating, get back behind these three castles and buy time. But while this is going on, you know, Samurai is spot the Samurai. He's getting a push going on the other side, essentially by himself at this point. Where Siege, I mean, it's hard to get Siege when there's no gold on the map, is the issue, right? Which is the scene, the tab with the relics. I've gone all the way around. Okay, I very much dislike this. You've got the Mayan player picking up relics. Yeah, yikes. The Mayan player doesn't need gold. You need to give the gold to like your better civs, like Slavs, or like even Trace at this point, honestly, so that he can keep trying to hold on for dear life. But Trace seems to be completely out of gold. He's got 90 farmers. Holy crap! That is a lot of farmers. Holy man. The trade is starting to pump, but pure Hussars against Halbs and even just like a couple of Mamelukes is just rough. If Trace gets gold to add BBC, he can hold. For the short term, sure, but I'm honestly not sure if Humble Pie is actually playing right. Like his TCs are idling while he has food in the bank, which is a little bit sus. Like he needs to be expanding everywhere. Everywhere there is space, basically. You know, you come back here, come over to this side, right? He just needs to get up to 80 vills as quickly as possible. Get someone to sling him some fuel skirms. Oh, I don't like that at all. That's such a waste. 30 vill eco making skirms, just not going to do anything. Oh, we do see the first trebuchet coming out on this side of the field from flightlessbird team, trying to push back the castles a little bit. I mean, I think he should be able to out-repair one treb reasonably easily. And he could even just, like, honestly right-click the treb with the Lycavs and the Arbs. The Portuguese player is almost full switched into skirms at this point. He's got a decent number of Arbs. And again, right, like as I was saying, you keep a decent ball of Arbs alive and then you make trash to support it. And then you spend the rest of your eco trying to make trade. Unfortunately, he's not making the trade part, which is what I would like to see. Meanwhile, Spot has more res than the whole of Noz team. That's kind of insane. He is a... Oh, the castle did go down. That's unfortunate. He is a big eco boy. I guess that shows you like how on the edge of the knife on Noszombie's team is right here. Right, they're just barely holding on. Trace is still here by himself. Oh, he's adding some rages, adding hand cannons. I mean, I guess that makes sense, because you're worried about the Helbs. I guess hand cannons are okay against Mamelukes, since the Mamelukes have such low range. The Arbs, not ideal though. No base, but still army. A lot better than no base and no army. I mean, a handful of crossbows and skirms is not army if we're talking about Grey. If we're talking about Orange, then yeah, Orange is doing a really good job. And like, honestly, he doesn't have to be making trade himself, right? Like, the rest of the team is making enough trade that they can sling him gold at some point. Sling Stone to no Eco Orange, East Victoria, Eco plus BBT hold. I mean, yeah. And you've got the Saracen player with trade who can buy the stone for cheap. And then get that slinging going. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I don't hate that. There's another castle coming forwards. Oh, that's a dive to try to get that trap. I don't think he's gonna kill it. Nope. You got close. You got very close to killing that. Name a different unit Trace could make to counter Arbhel Mameluke. I mean, that's my point, right? Like, I think Green needs to come over here and add some helms to support him. Or I would say Onagers would be good, but I don't think anyone has the goal to actually make Onagers, is the problem. I mean, yeah, Turks, no Onagers. Obviously, the Slav player is good Onagers. The problem is, you know, getting to Onagers. Oh, they finally overchopped this, so building a gate there is kind of smart. But yeah, every time that Noz's push stalls out like this, it's just that little bit closer to the game ending, essentially. Because Gray's still only got 40 kills. He has not really made any effort. Okay, he's saving for Imp. Okay. I guess that makes sense. But what are you going to do in Imp with a 40 villager economy? And nobody really has the resources to be, like, full slinging. Right, like, you could get 2,000 wood, 3,000 wood quite easily. And I can start to invest that into farms, but 40 farm is not enough. How many Fatorias Orange have? I think it's currently 0. Oh, no, he's got one back there. That is the only one that I see, but they have significantly more amounts of trade out on the field. Right? We've got 60 trade, 35 trade, 43 trade. Over here we've got 35, 20, and 2. Noz has definitely been slacking on the trade. I don't like that at all. I guess he's been a little bit greedy, assuming that the gold here that he has yoinked from poor Orange would be enough to get him through. But I don't think it's going to make a difference. Oh boy, and yeah, it looks like Traces. Yeah, they're calling the GG here. They've run into the brick wall. The push. The push has finally managed to get in and start denying his farm eco. I'm impressed that the game went past the 1 hour mark. Honestly, like at minute 20 to minute 30, I was like, you know, as soon as somebody hits Simp, this game is probably just going to be GG and over. But Noz did a decent job trying to push the other side. And honestly, I think the big Lycav, the Knight and Camel raid that Flight did in the end of Green's Castle Age was massive, right? That set Sneaky Salmon's eco back so far, really prevented him getting to Imp. If he had a slightly faster Imperial Age, maybe he could have helped support Noz's push before Kados got close to Paladin. Sarah Scouts determining the game is crazy. Yeah, it's a very inventive strategy. I will give you that. It's not the sort of thing that I would have thought of, but it makes so much sense when you're playing with the weaker flank, right? You just go all in, balls to the wall army early to try to just cover his weaknesses, right? You know, you sort of expect that he's going to be slightly behind in archer numbers, and so you just make up for it with a crazy number of scouts. Noz has a sick KD, but so does Flight. You don't often see a KD this good from a pocket player, but that's just like heavily influenced by how many vills he was killing. And then Mamelukes into Hussars, of course, definitely helps. Arf impressively has a cracked KD considering that he lost, you know, the entirety of his base. Eco-wise, yeah, just like look at the trade amounts, right? Their whole team has 5,000. Flight by himself has 5,000. And then, you know, 2 more players with another 9,000 between them. I think the biggest issue, well, I don't want to say issue. The easiest improvement that either team could make is that one of the pockets picks up all 4 relics a little bit easier. A little bit earlier, I should say. Because like every player has 1 relic in their base. So you know where they all are. It's nice and easy to go pick them up. And then Nice. One of the pockets has, 2 or 3 thousand extra gold when they hit Imperial Age because they've had 4 relics pumping out for a while, and then that helps them get to Paladin, or that helps them afford their trade boom.